Welcome back. The Attorney General of the Federation, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Lateef Fagbemi, a former minister and former governor of Lagos State, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Babatunde Fashola, and a clergy, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Very Reverend Professor Koinsola Ajayi, were speakers at an event which held in Lagos recently on the theme Ethics, Morality, and the Law. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, and the Emir of Kano, His Highness Khalifa Mohammed Sanusi II, were also at that event. Here are some of the contributions speakers made to the theme.
Sometimes the application of law can be very harsh. And because it is a human invention, there is no human invention that is not flawed. And this is where sometimes people who are not trained in the law then look at us and say, look, you lawyers are liars. How did that man who broke that man's head, how did he walk free? And he goes on to the principles of justice according to law. It is not justice according to how we see it, but there are rails and safeguards to make sure that we got it right. After all, there will be a next time. That's how lawyers are trained to operate. The public will be outraged, but that's how we are trained to operate. We are not liars, and we are not manipulating things. If the evidence doesn't match it, so this speaks to the need, in my view. I'm concluding now by saying that lawyers and judges are therefore human beings. Oftentimes they are not there when the things happen. It is a process of presenting the evidence, and judgments are like a product, it's like a factory. What does the lawyer offer? What support does the judge have in order to make the case into a judgment? The quality of every judgment, if you go and look properly, is to see who were the lawyers who assisted the court to come to those conclusions. And I conclude by saying that there is need for better training of lawyers, and that is a matter for discussion on another point.
The rule of law, from the perspective of ethics and morality today, has underpinned us in decadence and lawlessness. My question is, are we all Bobrisky? And I'm sure everybody here is going to say, lie, lie. From every point of view, morals or ethics. But I want us to ask ourselves, is it the case, when we talk about law, moral, and ethics, that there is lawlessness in the law today? The law today is providing the greatest uncertainty that you can think about. Otherwise, we would not have a court in Nigeria today say there should be elections in Rivers, and another one says there must be no elections. Judges know this. There is dire consequence for the injustice that we talk about, from the inconsistency that we see in your decisions that have no taint of any morality or of any ethics in it, of judgments that just bring disrepute to the whole of the Nigerian judiciary. Let the judges know, let them hear that there is punishment by God for these things, because he has empowered you to be judge. They say they are infallible. They say they are not God, but they are like God. And we accept it. And so if you are like God, what should you do? And then if we, the users of the system, I'm not a lawyer, but as a litigant, know that they are judged, why should I try and bribe God? Why would you want to bribe God? You must know that it will end in nothing else but failure on your part. But so as you can see from this image, is about the judge, about the executive, and the judiciary that make these laws. It's not just judges. All of us must look at the moral ethics in what we do. Justice is burning, and justice is burning society. And we must be careful to make sure that it's not what will bring the house down. Murder. We must be careful. We must make sure that it is justice that ends up helping society.
By and large, our judges are morally upright, courageous, knowledgeable, and hardworking. It's just a few that have given us a bad name. The change that we want to see in society is in each and every one of us. Not just the judges, not just the lawyers, not just the politicians, every single person. If we all follow the tenets of the faith that we profess, our society will be much better. And I call on every stakeholder to join hands in making the Nigeria that we all want to see. It doesn't lie in the hands of one person or two, one segment of the society or the other. It lies in all of us.
And just before we go, a quick look at some of the major court stories we tracked this week.
We begin with the report that the Supreme Court has dismissed the suit instituted by some state attorney generals challenging the establishment of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) Act and two other anti-corruption agencies. The other agencies are the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) and the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit (NFIU). The Apex Court dismissed it for lacking in merit. Delivering the lead judgment, Justice Uwani Abba Aji held that the states were completely wrong in holding that EFCC establishment by an act of the National Assembly was an illegal and unlawful body. Justice Abba Aji, who led a 7-member panel of justices, ruled that the EFCC Act, which is not a treaty but a convention, does not need the ratification of the Houses of Assembly. The court also dismissed all objections of the federal government to the suit filed by the states. The suit, which was initially instituted by attorney generals of 16 states, sought the scrapping of the anti-graft agency. While some states withdrew from the suit, some others asked to be joined as co-plaintiffs. Away from that story, the Special Court of Appeal panel set up to adjudicate on the political cases in Rivers State has reserved judgments in the consolidated appeals contesting the judgment of Justice Peter Lifu of the Federal High Court in Abuja. The 3-member panel of justices led by Justice Onyedikachi Otsi announced that judgments in their appeals would be reserved after counsel to parties in their appeals adopted their briefs and final processes for and against their appeals. In one of the appeals bordering on the Rivers local government election, Justice Lifu in the judgment barred the Independent National Electoral Commission from releasing the voters' register to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission for the conduct of the state local government polls, which has now been conducted. In another suit, presided over by Justice Lifu, brought before the court by some members of the River State chapter of the PDP, said to be loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, Justice Lifu ruled on an ex parte application restraining the national leadership of the PDP from dissolving the newly elected executives of the party in River State. In the case against the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has requested an adjournment stating that the 30-day window for the previously issued summons is still active. The Commission also granted administrative bail to his co-defendants Umar Oricha and Abdusalami Hudu and asked the court for an extension of time for Bello to appear. At the resumed hearing before Justice Marian Anini of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja, EFCC counsel Jamiu Agoro noted that the court's order for October 3rd had not yet expired. He also mentioned that the previously set date of November 20th was not convenient for the prosecution team. After hearing from all counsel, the judge granted the EFCC's application for adjournment and the issuance of the hearing notice. Justice Anini then adjourned the case to November 27th for arraignment. In Lagos, the trial of a suspected drug baron, Sulaiman Jimo, also known as Temo, continued at the Federal High Court on Thursday, with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) playing several voice notes in court and narrating how technology helped them uncover his alleged illicit drug transactions in Ghana. A digital forensic analyst with the NDLEA attached to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport told Justice Dainde Dikbeolu how he extracted and analyzed data collected from the defendant's Samsung Galaxy phone. According to the witness, the findings established that the defendant operates an illicit drug organization which imports cannabis sativa from Ghana for distribution in Nigeria. The prosecutor, Mrs. Theresa Asukwo, then tendered in evidence the prepared report, other documents, as well as the flash drive where the analyzed data from the defendant's phone were stored. She also applied that the video evidence from the data extracted from the defendant's phone be played in open court. The defendant's counsel, Benson Nadarkara, did not object to the admissibility of the documents tendered, but noted that the preliminary forensic report was not signed. He asked the court not to attach any value to the same. Justice Dikpeolu has adjourned till December 10th, 11th, and 12th for continuation of trial. And we round off with the report that the National Judicial Council has suspended Justice G.C. Aguma of the High Court of Rivers State and Justice A.O. Nwabunike of the Anambra State High Court for performing judicial functions. They were both suspended for the period of 1 year without pay and placed on watch list for 2 years thereafter. The decision was taken at the 107th meeting of the NJC chaired by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, on 13th and 14th November 2024. A total of 57 judicial officers were sanctioned for various acts of misconduct. The council also recommended 2 heads of courts, Chief Judge of Imo State, Honorable Justice Chukwuemeka Chikeka, and the Grand Kadi of Yobe State, Honorable Kadi Babagana Mahdi, for compulsory retirement over falsification of age.
And that's the program for today. Do remember to check out the Channels TV website for a replay of this episode of the program, as well as past episodes. Please also send in any feedback via our social media handles. I'm Shola Shele. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.